Hello everyone, welcome to the first Project Cars 2 video on this channel. Just had a bit of a break, obviously been busy at work, you see lots of action in the background. But this is Project Cars 2, and we're on the PC, of course. And actually the person in front of me is Matty, my teammate, who also has his PC now, and Vernux is behind me there. So as you can see already, the graphics are improved over Project Cars 1. And the touring cars look pretty epic in themselves here already, so I'm looking forward to do some more touring car races on this game, and what a game it is. So I'm going to talk about some of the good points and bad points. So my first impressions of Project Cars 2, a bit later than everybody else, because I was away on release date, but even so I've managed to have a pretty good go at it already, and there are some cracking good points and some not so good points. I always like to give my honest opinion whenever a game is concerned, then you can get a good idea whether you should buy it or not buy it, and I'll let you know my thoughts of whether you should buy it or not buy it right at the end. So as you can see, we're racing. There'll be lots of different video clips in the background. I say lots, there's like possibly 3 or 4, and some of them will relate to what we're going to talk about, and some won't. So first off, the good points. Force feedback initial setup. So on Project Cars 1, when you had to when you first got the game, basically you had to change a lot on the force feedback to get it working. It appears, at least on PC anyway, that the force feedback is a lot better. I'm still using like stock setup, and the reason I'm staying on stock is because if I go to any live tournaments, I'm assuming that's what they're going to be using. Now Jack Spade, who does all the force feedback settings in Project Cars 1, he has done some more files for Project Cars 2, but I don't think, you know, they're essential. Like in 1 they were essential to use his settings, in 2 not so much. As I say, I can use default, I can feel the car. It's a little bit understeery, floaty sort of feeling occasionally on some cars, but I can deal with that. I can learn to live with that. It's all good. So, you know, first good point, 1-0. We've got force feedback, and initial initial setup is much better. As you can see from your screen now, we're in the sort of like the replay mode. The broadcasters see the same sort of thing, except you don't have playback controls because it's live, of course. But straight away, this is so much better. It's going to make esports broadcasting just amazing. I mean, on the left hand side you can see the initials. That's a bad point. There's a bug in there. The 3 initials doesn't work properly because I put it as TID, but it's still coming up as GTA. So I'm assuming that's using the Steam name rather than the thing in the background. So we have that leaderboard. You can see distances between cars, things like that. It also comes up with a triangle when there's some action happening, which is really nice feature, because straight away somebody can see that. And also on broadcaster mode, if you look at the right hand side, just to the right of all these cameras, you actually get an info feed, so it tells you position changes and all sorts. It's really, really good. And you've also got these cameras, so I'm going to switch it to all now, which does both onboard and trackside, and I can turn the interface off, and you get to see this battle with Matty for the last 2 laps. And you get a good idea of, you know, the different cameras and stuff. You did just see a BMW in the gravel trap, so that is still in the game. So when Project Cars 1, if a player leaves, the car then stays wherever it is on the replay system. Doesn't obviously when you're racing, but that had me thinking perhaps they could introduce that, you know, when somebody leaves, the car is then stuck there. Then if they ever introduce a safety car or something like that, they could bring out the safety car, give it like a set time period of how to get a car out of that situation, and then obviously release the cars after. It'd be quite good. Obviously that's something for the future if they ever do develop that. But yeah, you're going to watch the race. So some of the bugs in Project Cars 1 have been fixed. You know, some of the major bugs from Project Cars 1. So first off, the curbs. As you can see, me and Matty are really attacking the curbs. That curb on the left there on Project Cars 1 would have chucked you off. Doesn't do that in Project Cars 2. That's very nice. So of course curbs are there, well, they are used in real racing, so the fact we can use them here is nice. Project Cars 1, you went anywhere near that, you'd end up in the barrier, in the wall, and potentially loads and loads of damage. So, you know, that's the brilliant bug that is fixed already. We've also got the contact bug, which has disappeared, which is amazing, to be honest, because that affected the racing the most in Project Cars 1. Like me and Isaac, when we were at Hockenheim, and I bang out on about that race all the time, we know about it, so we keep our distance a bit more. If you watch here now with Matty just runs wide there into Druids, I go on the inside, we jump to bonnet cam, we contact, we get the tiny bit of contact, but no contact bug, so we're all good, we can keep racing. And that is awesome. That means the racing is going to be better. That was the main thing, that all they had to do is get rid of that in Project Cars 1, and they had a solid game straight away. So the fact they've done that now and we can race is top notch. It means it's fun as well, because I find Project Cars out of all the races the most fun to play. And yes, there may be others that may be slightly better in simulation or something else, but irrespective of that, fun is the most important factor. And if it's fun, everybody will keep coming back, and I'm certainly going to keep coming back as we get to some more of the good points. But obviously the major ones, contact bug gone, curve trick off gone, and the netcode does appear to be better, but I'll get onto that a little bit later because there's a video clip demonstrating that. I've explained the replay system, so that's good. So I think we're up at about 3-1 at the moment, but I'll just explain some of the bad bugs at the moment. So there are some new bugs, some of the older bugs have been fixed, some new ones. So the first one is, which is a weird one actually, so if anyone from Project Cars is listening, you know, these are some of the bugs I've found. When you're in a lobby, and you're the lobby host, you do qualifying, you sat there in the lobby, you have the start button to start the race. Yeah, sometimes it doesn't work. You can spam start, doesn't work, and you end up being stuck in it, and you have to literally Alt Tab, right click the icon and close it that way. Alt F4 doesn't even work. So that's a pretty bad bug. It's only happened to me once, and I know it's happened to Yuhan once, so it's definitely a bug. If it's happened to 2 people, it's a bug. Hanging loading screen, that's similar to Project Cars 1 actually on PC. I'm not sure whether this will be on console or not, but yeah, that's a bug. So you literally hit start when you're in the lobby, and it'll just sit on the loading screen for 2, 3, 4 minutes. You've got to do the same thing again. We'll get on to another bug in a second, and then I've mentioned about the initials on the left hand side. So well, I'll put 3-2 at the moment, good to bad. So now we're getting on to some epic. This deserves like 10 points in itself. As you can see, it's a thunderstorm. You can see we just catched the car there, going into the cone. The weather. Now the weather is good in itself. You know, games have brought weather to us. We've had dynamic weather, we've had rain and all sorts. But Project Cars 2 brings something even better than weather, and it's the Live Track 3.0. So you can see on track now, you can see little puddles on the left hand side there, especially on the little tarmac section. There's puddles showing and things like that. And those puddles can also be on the track. Now I'm really gutted I haven't got the live footage for this. The reason I haven't is because it corrupted after recording, which is really annoying. But even so, the replay system is good now that I can go on the same camera I use basically when I race, the roof cam, because the bonnet cam's a bit lower now, and you can get a good idea of what I was looking at the time. So you can see the track is dead slippy, and the track is ever changing now in this game, and I can show you a little bit of that here. So as you can see, we're coming up to the end of sector 2, start of sector 3. So we have this right, then we have another fast right-hander. Now look at the apex on this fast right-hander. Look on the inside, you can just see it there, the puddle. It just grabs me, spins the car. Now look at second place. He runs wide as well, nearly hits me there, so close. So now I'm trying to get the car started again. This is another good point, by the way. You can't just reset the car, you've got to get the car started. Now I'm just going to let everybody go by, and then I'm going to go again. The fact there's puddles in this game, and the puddles grow as well, means in a race, so in this race it was an 8-lap race, you had to change your racing line every single lap, and it made it so much fun because you have no idea how big that puddle's going to get each time you go around. Even Blancheman had a puddle by the end of the race, and you had to take it in a weird sort of line. But if you look at the chicane, this is another demonstration of this. So Matty's trying to overtake Lamborghini. We're on Matty now, and if you look on the inside there, there's a puddle, but if you look in front, both those two are aquaplaning into each other. A bit of damage there. Matty takes avoiding action. The aquaplaning is real, and that puddle on that chicane actually went into the middle of the track, and you had to stay on the very outside of the corner to get round by the end of the race. Unbelievable stuff. And you can see how good the weather looks as well, and all the different cars. We've got more GT3 cars now. Looks absolutely epic. So live track in itself, personally, I would just buy the game for this, because this made the game like 100 times more fun than normal. Now we have some live footage. I'm going to explain the netcode now. So I did say the netcode has improved. So you can see here, we've got a mixture of all sorts of cars. And we've got Johan in the Acura here as he heads towards the first turn. Now just look at Johan. So he's going to disappear and come back on. Now in the PCars 1 he'd have been darting all over the show at that point, but instead he disappears and then comes back and it places him. Now there's still contact there, but rather than affecting 5 or 6 people's race, it affected one person, and I think that's just because he didn't see him because he disappeared and came back. Now that is a much better system than darting left, right, centre. If you remember SMSR Championship round 1 at Monza, I got completely wiped out. So the netcode definitely better. Now scoring wise, we're up to 5-3 or 5-2, something around there. So good, obviously beating the bad at the moment. And right, okay, so the next thing, you can see we've got 22 people in this lounge. There's a license now, so you've got license, you've got U to S, I think it is, S being the best, U being the worst, and then you've got the point system of 100 being the worst and 5,000 being the best. Everyone starts at 1,500, so I'm actually gone below 1,500 here because I retired from a race on this night. This is my second night playing, and that seemed to knock it down a bit. But the license I've found has meant that the public lobbies are pretty clean. I've only been taken out once, and that was just because the guy was struggling in the wet, not because he went to take me out. And the fact that this has made the racing so much cleaner is amazing, because that's what everybody wants. And it looks like we are going to get clean public lobbies. You know, you can set the license limit, so you can put it really high. You know, when everyone gets to 5,000, you can put it at 5,000 if you really want the most extreme drivers. And clean drivers, and you could get those spot-on races. But even now, I'm getting clean races, so I expect, you know, in the future, get clean races. So yeah, you just see the Ferrari overtaking me here. I am going to look at GT3 cars and see which ones are faster and slow at some point, but that'll be in a separate video. But yeah, the license, another good point. So that's 6-3 or 6-2 now, I think, or 7-3, 7-2. As you can tell, the game is much, much better. We're going to get onto something else in a second. Before I do, AI is kind of good and kind of bad, so let me explain this. AI is still very robotic, so that's the bad part of this, okay? It's very robotic, and I think it's slightly broken. So I did the career mode, did one race in the career mode. It was a not kill Formula Rookie. Not kill, small track, first sector. The AI did it in, I wiped the AI to 120 as well, because I thought, you know, I am pretty quick at the game. Surely I should just have the top-notch AI. So, first sector, they were doing 17.5s. I was 18.0. So, you know, 18 seconds worth of race time. That's half a second now. I think it was 2 corners. Didn't quite get it. Second sector, I was 3 tenths quicker. Again, don't get it. Final sector, 4 tenths down. Wasn't quite sure. Qualified 10th. In the race, it seems, you know, at the start you can gain tons of positions because the AI are a bit dozy. But then when they get into their racing, it was really hard to keep up at all, which I kind of like, because obviously it's nice to have some offline races occasionally. But for me, the game's more about online. I mean, having this race here, you know, we've got Steven in front. There's another guy in front of him. I think he's called Rooney Fan or Ronnie Fan. And these are the races that you really want, not versus the AI. But yeah, so the AI can be a bit dozy, and it seems to be quite quick in some places, which I don't really get. Right, nearly finished. So you may have noticed that my braking has been all over the place. You got the green bar and the red bar in the speedo. Look at my braking going into this first corner, because I am struggling with the brakes. ABS is on high at this point. It's on the highest level possible. I don't expect to be locking the brakes at all in the dry. But look at my brakes. I'm having to really come off. You can see the ABS going green, but I literally can't control this car at all. With the braking, so I'm not sure if ABS is broken or not, but yeah, there seems to be a big issue there. As we go to this final race, this was on the first night as well. You can see lots of action in the background there, but that's me and Matty side by side there, first and second, both in Lamborghinis. As we continue on, this is another bug actually. The replay sound, my car is loud irrespective of which car I'm on. You can hear my car from a mile away, so that does need to be sorted as well. But in the end, this game, so let's summarise it in a nutshell. Should you buy it? Yes. definitely. You saw the score. It's like 7-3, 8-3, 8-2, something like that. In fact, let me just count my notepad. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's 8-3 on there. So I'm sorry if I've not mentioned something, but I believe I've mentioned everything. So 8-3. Definitely buy the game. If you can get it, buy it. You'll have good fun. The big winner in this is Live Track 3.0, because this is going to push the likes of other games like Assetto, iRacing, Gran Turismo, everything. They're going to have to push the weather, because no joke, this changes the genre. This Live Track 3.0 changes it, and that's the only reason you should buy this game, really. Just try this. It's unbelievable, just like the way it works and how fun it is. The fact you can't do the same racing line twice in one lap is crazy. Crazy in a good way, not crazy in a bad way. So yes, you should buy it. Now, I've not mentioned the content. The content is huge in this game. I've mentioned it before. Loads and loads of tracks, loads and loads of cars. It's going to make championships unbelievable. Oh, just quickly, I mentioned about licenses earlier. So this guy outbrakes himself, crashed into me anyway, lets me go. Also, I mean, clean, you know, a slight accident there, no biggie. Continue on racing. You know, it's clean. It's a public lobby, and we've got fairly clean racing. You know, he's let me back through. We're all happy. So this is great. But yeah, so in my opinion, I think you should buy it. Not being biased there. Live Track 3.0 alone, I think you should buy it. But that's going to be it for now for this Project Cars 2 video. There's going to be a video every day for the next 2 weeks of Project Cars 2, because I'm thoroughly enjoying this. I'm going to be racing every night, so if you want, you can have me on Steam, and I will definitely be setting up lobbies and, you know, trying to get my license up a bit. But as I say, that's it for now. If I come across any more dodgy stuff, I will certainly feedback that through. But that's it for now. I will see you in the next video.